Welcome to the Anthony C. Quinn Memorial Natatorium for today's Senior Day contest, swimming and diving, between the Valley Central Vikings and your Warwick Valley Wildcats. It's been a very unique season with COVID. This is the 5th meet of the year. We're looking forward to some good competition between the Valley Central Vikings virtually and the Warwick Valley Wildcats. I'm Ryan Candia. Alongside with me to call today's action is Coach Greg Voloshin. Coach, what do you expect from today's meet?
Well, I know a couple things. I know that the Warwick Valley Wildcats have been working very, very hard in the pool. They look great. They've looked great the past 4 meets. I'm sure Valley Central has been training hard as well. It certainly has been a unique season, but we're looking forward to having a great contest.
Thanks a lot, Coach. You heard it here first. We're looking forward to having a great contest. Stick around because after these messages, we'll be right back with Warwick Valley Boys Senior Day Swim Meet.
Everyone has at least played one sport when they were little, but the goal at these times was to have fun. When athletes get older, some might still want to have fun. But sometimes people just want to win and get the best of the other opponent. This is where sportsmanship comes into value. Sportsmanship can be used on and off the field and courts of the sports that you can play. Sportsmanship also shows how you respect one another at the end of the game by keeping it respectful. This can lead to friendships and a lifetime friend from your sport that you can help you on your way through life. So what are you waiting for? Visit International Fair Play Committee's website today and learn more.
And we're back. Welcome to the Warwick Valley Natatorium for this Senior Day here, February 11th, 2021. I'm Ryan Candia, Coach Candia. Alongside with me to call the action is Dr. Gregory Voloshin, but we'll call him Coach today. Coach, how you doing today?
Coach, doing fantastic. No place I'd rather be here than Warwick for an incredible matchup between the Valley Central Vikings and the Warwick Wildcats. Monroe Woodbury, the 5-time reigning Section 9 champions right now. That will be a tough matchup.
Looks like a pretty close race here. Who's going to touch the wall? Second legs are out.
Now watch out in lane 3 there. Xander Trezan doing a great job with that breaststroke. Both of these gentlemen do a great job with that breaststroke there. Now the medley relay, Coach, is 4 different strokes, 50 strokes each for 200 yards. It goes backstroke, breaststroke, next leg right here. We're going to see the butterfly. Look out for Kyle Sachs in lane 2, multi-sport athlete going to jump in. But right now it looks like we got Gluckstein in.
Gluckstein in the lead, Xander. Touch the wall, Gluckstein in the lead in lane 3.
And right there, that's a really smooth stroke. Staying nice and low to the water. Little high on the turn, but a great pullout.
Vinay Kamath in lane 4, Kyle Sass in lane 2. Trailing lane 3, Gluckstein. Looks like the anchor will be Aiden Corrigan for lane 3. Let's see if he can bring this relay home for the Wildcats.
And around the section, you'll notice a lot of the stronger swimmers are the freestyle leg. You want to have someone at the end of your medley relay that can really bring it home and get you a lot of good points for your team.
Well, it's been a unique season here for the Wildcats. I'm sure the seniors, Will Downhair and Dan Jackson, are excited to finish their season during this COVID-ridded season, which has been unique for all sports here in Section 9 and the rest of New York State. It looks like Aiden Corrigan bringing it home for the Wildcats will win this heat at lane 3. Yeah, you see Ben Pittiger on the pool giving a little fist bump. That's newly coach Christine Mahan taking over for the Quinns, who have coached here for a numerous amount of years. They decided to step down this year.
And the Quinns, the all-time leading wins in the program history, followed closely by the legendary Rob Latimer, whose son actually has the 500 freestyle record still set back in 1978, 2-time state champion.
So that's the 200 medley relay. We will check in with the VC result from the 200 medley relay. Now, next next race up is the 200 freestyle. We got Will Danaher in lane 2. In lane 3, Jesse Abramson. And in lane 4, Dan Jackson. And Dan Jackson set some records here recently, Coach. Is that correct?
Yes, Dan Jackson is one of the premier swimmers in Section 9 right now and had a huge opening night here. Set 2 school records and a pool record in our first meet of the year. But he's a pleasure to watch. He's a big-time college recruit, and you should see a very, very fast time here in the 200 free from Dan Jackson.
And they're off, and if you're looking for a fast time, you should have your eyes set on lane 4, Dan Jackson.
And Dan Jackson has been swimming for a very, very long time to become a very competitive swimmer and competitive in the area. This is a rich area of good swimmers. You do need to train, and this heat actually is a very, very strong heat. We got some great swimmers in here that are going to push to try to break the school, not the school record, but the pool record of 147.59 set by Eric Culver, who went on to have a great swimming career at the University of Buffalo, went to high school in New Paltz.
Go Bulls. That's Will Danaher, senior in lane 2. Dan, also a senior in lane 4. Jesse Abramson in lane 3. Looks like a pretty close race so far.
Danaher, one of the up-and-coming swimmers here. The coaches are very high on him. I believe he's a freshman. Has been swimming for quite some time. And look at him battle the senior right here.
They're battling, yes. Actually, Coach, I'm pretty sure they're both seniors. Will's a senior. And we have our last half lap here. Who's going to win this race? They're into the crawl freestyle.
This is going to be a fast time. This is going to be a fast time. I'm interested to see.
Who's going to touch down first?
50 left here, Coach.
50 meters left. 50 meters left. Let's see.
It's a good sign that they're picking up that pace right now because basically your last 75 is an all-out sprint. That's 3 laps here.
It's between lanes 3 and 4. Abramson lane 3, Dan Jackson lane 4.
And this is neck and neck, and this is where you got to see. This is where the power from your kick comes in and the power from the pull comes in. And you see Jackson just pulling away right there.
Yeah.
Back at the end.
Dan Jackson looks like he's happy with the time. So in Warwick, we got Jackson, Abramson, Danaher.
And we're going to need a validation on the time. Was that a pool record?
So as we await for the results here at Warwick, we will also have to check in with VC and see what happened out there.
So 149.43 off the pool record, but that is a fast time, and to have 2 guys on the same team going sub 150 is something special.
Yeah, Will Danaher 150.36 out of lane 2. In lane 3, we have Abramson with a time of 201.07. So that's the results here from Warwick Valley. We will check in Viking Land to see what they did. Okay, next event is the 200 IM.
So, Coach, the 200 IM, very similar to the medley relay. It's 2 strokes butterfly, then 2 laps backstroke, then 2 breast, then 2 free, 8 laps total. It's a very grueling event. A lot of your most experienced swimmers do swim this event. School record holder in this event for the Wildcats is Dan Jackson.
Today we have in lane 2 Ben Pittiger. In lane 3, Youssef Mustafa. In lane 4, Caden Nagel. And they're off.
And something interesting this year is these virtual meets. So you're swimming against another team that's actually swimming right now in their own pool. And it makes it kind of challenging because your matchups aren't as intense. You train with your fellow swimmers here in the pool. So it's kind of an interesting, you know, as everything COVID is, it's very interesting. The training has been interesting, and your competition has been very different, to say the least.
I would imagine it's got to be very mentally draining and mentally tough. So you're swimming sort of against yourself and against your teammates that you swim with every day, but it probably feels great to get out in the pool for these guys who have been so restricted in the last 10 months.
Yeah,
almost a year now.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's just great to see the student athletes back at it. I know there was basketball here last night. And we got girls' season coming up. These are condensed seasons, about 6 weeks long now. But so it doesn't really give a lot of time to train. However, there is some off-season training going on with local club teams.
It looks like lane 3, Youssef Mustafa out to the lead.
Now, good IMers generally have a great breaststroke part of the program here. And this is where the pullouts off the wall and that endurance really kicks in.
So you would say the breaststroke is a pretty important stroke in this medley.
If you have a good breaststroke, it's usually where you reel other swimmers in or you break away from the pack.
Looks like Mustafa, Pittiger, followed by Nagel.
And Pittiger has a great breaststroke here. He made up a lot of ground there. Good kick out, good pull, and now he's starting to put some distance between himself and lane 3.
Yes, he is.
But who knows what's going on in VC right now? We may be battling for first and second. We may be battling for 5 and 6. We're just giving 100% effort right here.
Coach Warner's probably out on the deck at VC, urging his swimmers on. And we're here doing the crawl now in the last of the strokes.
This is it. And right now, this hurts. This hurts. Lane, this is your 7th lap after doing butterfly back breast. That actually hurts. You want this race to be done.
I was just going to say the breaststroke looked pretty grueling, and then you got to finish with the freestyle here, and here they come.
And at the higher level meets, you'll see that maybe your swimmer will take 1 or 2 breaths on that last 25. Your lungs feel like they're going to explode, but it's well worth it.
It is well worth it.
The price of victory.
The price of victory. I think that was Mustafa in lane 3, touching down first. Lane 2, Benjamin Pittiger takes second, and
no, Pittiger took first there,
Pittiger
Coach.
took first. Excuse me, thank you, Coach. Pittiger is a great kid. I had him in class last year. He's a sophomore. He looks very happy at his time and his performance. Great way to end the year.
That was a nice race. Pittiger with a great breaststroke portion of the medley, and then he really brought it home with that freestyle there at the end. As a sophomore, we have a lot to look forward to in Wildcat Country.
Yes, we do. So here from the Anthony C. Quinn Memorial Pool, we got Pittiger winning the 200 IM. Let's check in with VC. So the next event up for the Wildcats and the VC Vikings over at their pool is the 50 freestyle. Coach, this is more of a sprint event, right? The 50 freestyle?
Coach, this is an event that every program looks forward to, every sprinting athlete looks forward to. This is just straight up backyard swimming. Who can get to the wall on the other side of the pool and back the fastest? It's a power, it's glory, it's just full out blast to the wall and get back.
Coach, I never formally swam. I think I can only handle backyard swimming. I think we have 2 heats of this. If I'm not mistaken, in the first heat, we should have Trezino in lane 4, Michael Dung in lane 3, and Elijah Jean. I'm sorry, Trezino lane 2, Dung in 3, Elijah Jean in lane 4.
And if we're going to get technical about this race, it's about the start, it's about the turn, it's about your finish.
Okay. Swimmers are hitting the block.
We'll see how fast they can get out.
And they're off. I would imagine a good start is pivotal in this race. It's sort of a sprint.
And you have to get your legs moving, and then we're going to see as they come down towards the wall, how fast will they get this flip turn done, and how far can they push off? Right there, lane 3 pushed off the wall, and then you want to break out. It's called when you break the top of the water out of your turn. That's called a breakout. That's where the power comes in.
Looks like Dong and Trezino are neck and neck right now.
And you want to keep your head down here, no breaths, as you notice right there. That's a nice time.
So it's going to go Dong, Jean, Trezino, quick race, 50 freestyle. That's the result here from Wildcat Country. We had Michael Dong win that event. This will be probably the scoring heat. Lane 2 is Aiden Corrigan. Lane 3, Caswell Gluckstein. And in lane 4, Kyle Sass. And these guys will be the scorers most likely.
And coach, school record in the 50 free for the Wildcats, Eric Fold, 2011 with a 21.43. That was at a state meet where he got 7th. Another great Wildcat swimmer.
I remember Eric Fold. He was a great swimmer. And they're off.
Had a nice career at UMass, and now is back coaching locally.
Good for Eric. Hopefully he can take his knowledge I learned here and at Minutemen Country and teach young swimmers all the tricks of the trade that he knows.
Yep. Swimming, it takes a long time to build that endurance up, get your technique right, and then...
So here we go, coming down.
That's lane 2 there.
Lane 2, Aiden Corrigan. Looks like it's going to be Corrigan, Gluckstein, Sass in that order. Aiden Corrigan also plays football, I believe. I have him in class. He's a good kid. He's a hard worker. He takes that heat. So we had Corrigan, Gluckstein, Sass. That's the results here in the Anthony C. Quinn Memorial Pool. We'll check in Viking Land to see their results before we hit the diving competition. back for the diving competition of this swim and diving meet here at Wildcat Country. My partner alongside me knows a lot about diving. He's a former state champ, and he dived at Boston University, so I'm glad to have him alongside me to call this diving meet, this diving matchup. So, Coach, is today Pike Day?
Well, in dual meets, the way they do it is you do 6 dives. Everybody does a required dive, and then you can do optionals after that. So everybody's degree of difficulty on each given dive is a little bit different. So there you saw Mars, diver number 1 from SS Seward, do an inward dive for a 5.5, which is a nice dive. Up right now we have Grant Moore. Grant Moore is a freshman. He's a freshman from Goshen, and last year in the sectional meet, I believe he won the small school section meet. However, just missed making the state meet, but made big gains in the offseason.
Let's see what he can
And
do.
you're gonna see some nice height out of Grant.
Wow, his entry was nice. Not
Yeah.
a big splash. He wasn't over. Looked pretty good. Let's see what the score is.
Yeah, that's gonna be big scores.
All right.
So 8.5. That's on the higher end. Now the scale is 0 to 10.
Yes.
And Grant Moore this year is ranked in the top 4 of the section. Up right now, Luke Albanese is ranked number 1 right now in Section 9. He's a sophomore out of Goshen as well.
Sophomore. Luke looks like he had a beautiful dive there as well. Let's see what the scores will be. Seven and a half, 7.
So anything 7 or up on the voluntary dive is generally a good dive, above average dive.
Coach, would you say those 2 athletes have a shot at making the? Oh, there is no state championships this year.
There is no state championships. There is no really section championships
Right,
this
there
year,
isn't,
which is
yeah.
unfortunate because both of them would be definitely in the state meet and I think have a chance to medal there as well. This is Lucas from Warwick, 8th grader, 2nd year diving.
Great effort there from Lucas to get his balance back. He is young and learning.
That's one of the things you want to do is get that poise once you're stepping on the board. Take a couple deep breaths because when you're a diver, all eyes are on you.
That's right. And the younger you start, the easier it gets as you matriculate into high school.
And Warwick, with a great tradition of diving, back as early as from 2008 to 2013, I think we had 3 girls section championships and 6 in a row. And the boys had, they still hold the record for most points scored at a Section 9 championship. And that's nice and consistent. It's up and down on his feet. It's not going to get those higher scores, but about a 5, 4.5, I'd say.
Coach nailed the scores right there. You know the sport very well. To me, as kind of an amateur, I thought maybe he could have came in a little straighter.
Yes.
But hey, everybody's learning. I remember the one year I had a semi-experience with diving.
Yeah.
We would just do the hurdle approach and the entry, and we would rely on TiVo.
And right here, this is Grant Moore, 2nd dive. I believe it's a front 2.5 tuck, so that's 2 flips into a dive. And we'll see if he can catch the board. That's going to be key.
I thought he caught the board.
A little rough there.
Yeah, he went over on his landing. Let's see what the judges say.
It's going to be about a 4 or so. When you miss the board and your head goes down, your knees come up, and the physics of the sport, of the somersault action, make it more difficult to come out and line up.
Yeah.
Now let's
Grant
see.
seems like a competitor, though, Coach. I'll say that. I'm impressed by his first 2 dives.
Oh, they are well seasoned. I know, Grant and Luke have both competed in AAU national championships around the country. They've competed in San Antonio, also in Coral Springs, Florida.
Oh, I liked it. That looked great.
Luke Albanese saw the bottom there, kicked out strong. It's going to be 6s and up.
Let's see the official score. 6.5, 7.
And one of the things is Luke Albanese this year has been so consistent. He throws dives with high degree of difficulty. He always gets near his head, and that serves you well in the sport of diving. You want to stay consistent around that 6 and up range, especially with your optionals. Lucas now with an inward flip. And the inward flip is a lower degree of difficulty dive. Grant and Luke doing higher degree of difficulty dives. that's a nice dive for Luke.
Yes, looks like he nailed that one, Lucas, compared to the first one. He came back pretty strong. Even though it was a lower difficulty dive, it looks like he came back confident. I like that.
And you want to stay consistent there. 4.5, 5 on that dive. For an 8th grader, that's a great job. We're looking to the future, and Lucas has a lot of potential.
It's a good building block.
So Mars is doing a front 1.5. We saw Grant do 2 flips into a dive. This is 1 flip into a dive. Let's see if he can stretch it out on the bottom.
Little over on the landing.
And you could hear his feet hitting the board very hard.
Yeah.
That's rough on the board. It's always going to make it very difficult to line that up on the bottom.
So the setup wasn't
quite
there on that one.
Right. Diving, a lot of people think it's just how you enter the water.
Right.
But the dive starts on your approach. From that first step you take, your presentation, are your fingers pointed, are you standing tall and proper, and all of that leads to a good dive and takeoff. Here's Grant Moore's 3rd dive.
Wow, I like that one.
Now that's a higher
approach, twist.
A higher degree of difficulty dive. That's a 1.5 with 2 twists. Still a little rough on the board, but he did a great job lining that up on the bottom. And with a degree of difficulty at 2.6, that's a high scoring dive for Grant Moore. So Grant Moore is never out of meets as long as he can do those higher degree of difficulties.
Right.
And Grant always has been a very, very gifted twister, so he's never out of any meet with the big twisters. And now you'll see a 1.5 with 1 twist here from Luke.
Good twist for Luke. Could have got the feet up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit short on the bottom. When you miss the board, your head generally goes down, and that stops the somersaulting action. You want to be a little bit smoother with that chin up. That way you can press all the way through to your toes and finish on the bottom. They didn't hit him that hard for his feet
I
apart.
thought the scores were pretty good.
Yeah, they didn't hit him that hard for on the bottom, but I know Luke is going to say, I could have rode that board a little bit better.
So this is Lucas's 4th dive? Are we up to
this is Lucas's 3rd dive.
And then we go to the rotation, starting over again.
And this is front 1.5 for Lucas.
Okay.
And again, a little bit over on the bottom. One of the things that divers have to learn at a young age is how to do proper approach, and the proper approach in board riding leads to proper mechanics in the dive.
Yes.
We're hearing a lot.
Do you think you didn't ride the board enough on that one?
Yeah, you got to ride the board, and we got to work on some of those jumps a little bit more. The great thing is I love working with these young divers because they have so much potential. They work so hard, and it's a skill you can develop. Now, Mars is going to go for a double. This is the first time he's ever done a double in a meet. All right, and he made it around to his feet now.
Made the rotation. He totally went for it there, Coach.
Did not get out straight, so the scores won't be so high, but that's not what this is about right now. You have to get experience under your belt with these higher degree difficulty dives in order to get confident in the future.
It's about the development.
Absolutely.
Exactly. You got the rotations through, just got to work on that.
Oh, that's
entry
right.
into the water.
Diving also is very, very psychological. You're up on a diving board. You catch the board, you miss the board. There's a lot going through your head. It's scary. You're flipping around. And you'll see on this dive here, this is a back 1.5. It's a back flip into a back dive. It's a 2.0 degree of difficulty, and Grant Moore usually does this very well.
Ooh, I liked it, Coach.
And that's a nice dive. And Grant will tell you he should have kicked and probably squeezed his legs a little bit tighter before looking for the lineup. He left it a hair short, but a beautiful executed dive that should score pretty well.
Okay, 6.5.
And now you'll see from Luke. Luke is doing the same dive but in a different position. He's doing this dive in pike. So the difference between tuck and pike, tuck is bent knees in a tuck position. The pike has straight legs. So this is a 2.3 degree of difficulty. He picks up 0.3 difficulty on this. Let's see if he can get up and down. It's a great jump on that. It's a great jump on that. Could have been a little bit tighter on that entry, but still should score fairly well. And again, you see that 5.5, 6. If you're in that 6 zone with high degree of difficulty,
Score equates to being high, right?
Correct. You're going to always do well. And this is Lucas doing a front double in the meet right now. First one ever, 8th grader out of Warwick.
It's nice watching an 8th grader tackle these dives.
Absolutely. Let's see if you can ride the board on this and be confident on the bottom. All right, and he made it around. His feet went towards the other end of the diving of the pool. Should have probably kicked towards the bottom, but you know, when you're spinning and there's a meet and your emotions are going, that's a great job for Lucas.
Good job. First time ever doing that in a meet. Very impressive for an 8th grader.
And now we're starting round number 5, and Mars has a reverse flip. So this is a single flip, and we're going to see if he can stand up out of this on his out. But again, presentation looks pretty good right here. Mars needs to concentrate on riding that diving board. All right.
Okay.
You know, that's
Did you
okay.
ride the board too much on that, Coach?
You know, anytime you hear your feet actually hit the board, that's not a board ride, but that was better than his previous attempts. It should be nice and consistent. Yep, around the 5, 4.5 range for him. And here comes Grant again with another big twister. He's never out of a meet as long as he keeps doing these twisters. This is a back 1.5 with 1.5 twists. Another great dive. And, you know, I would say Grant's lines in the twisting position are amongst the best in the state. And he's only a freshman.
That's pretty impressive, Coach. Let's see what he can do right here.
That's a nice dive right there.
Yeah.
That's going to be everything. 6.5.
Start to finish. Entry looked good.
Absolutely. Ooh, a little bit low. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised at that because technically that was done very, very well. Maybe it was done a little bit low. Some days you just never know. As one of the former divers I had, Chris Deaver, once said, you know, when it comes to judging, you just never know. You just go out there and you try to do your best every time.
It's true. Can't control the judges.
Same dive, Luke Albanese, very explosive. And he makes that no problem. You know, Luke Albanese is one of the most explosive divers. He's a little bit shorter than Grant in stature, but boy, he has very explosive ability off the diving board, especially with twisting, and only a half point higher. You know, I thought both of those dives are probably worth a little bit more than that, in my opinion. Coach, but I'm sitting back here, you know, on the microphone.
Right, Coach. What's going on when people use their feet to wind the board there?
That right there is a fulcrum. So the farther back the fulcrum is, the more loose the diving board is. So the more skill it takes to catch the board when that fulcrum is back. Elite divers like to have it all the way back because the board is really loose and they're really slow and great at timing it. So when you watch the Olympics, try to take note of exactly where that fulcrum is. And the higher you can jump, the more flips you can make, the more DD you have in your list.
Not bad for an 8th grader.
Yep, he jumped a little bit back right there. You want to finish that jump straight over your toes and then see your kick on the wall. If you start rotating back and your head goes back, it's hard to control and stop the somersault. And this is a big one for Mars right here. It all comes down to this. This is a back 1.5. He learned it yesterday and said, Coach, I want to do this in the meet today. It's the last meet of the year. I'm a freshman in high school. He's going for it. Back 1.5, back flip into a dive.
Coach, I love that can-do attitude. Let's see what happens here.
And that's part of being a diver. Let's hope he gets a good reach and really pops those legs up.
Okay, first time doing that in a meet.
Yeah, you know.
Went for it.
Might have gotten a little nervous there. His arms stopped at his shoulders. And he didn't get his arms all the way through. And you need to get those arms all the way through or else the dive just won't flip and you're out a little bit early. But, hey, a scoreable back 1.5 for a 9th grader, that's a great building block for the future for Mars. And Mars is the SS Seward school record holder.
Oh, there you go.
School record holder for SS Seward.
Good job, Mars.
And this is Grant Moore, inward 1.5, pike 2.4. This is a really good dive for him. As you can see, Grant very, very consistent throughout today. Outside that front 2.5. And that's
I like the entry.
You know, Grant does a great job. He's very smooth, great toe point. So a 7 and an 8 is a very nice finish.
Yes.
For Grant. Another nice performance. And really, we're super fortunate, and we're really happy to have a season like this with everything going on with COVID. But really, we're also very fortunate to know that Luke and Grant, specifically in terms of the state meet, are only freshmen and a sophomore. I feel those seniors really have it tough.
Thor's a little over on the entry.
Yeah.
I did like the rotation. What did you see in that dive?
Yeah, a little over on the bottom. You want to make sure those arms come through straight, and when you're lining up, you always got to look through the bottom there. It looks like he ducked his head and went a little bit long. And it looks like on the bottom right there, you can see the tally, Grant by 1 point over Luke. But boy, that's some 1-2 punch for Goshen, and they're so young.
They're young, yes.
Both train here at Warwick with the Warwick diving team. Goshen doesn't have a pool, so and that's a very nice way to end his meet.
Yes.
Up and down, very consistent.
Good end for the 8th grader.
And that concludes the entire event. It was a good event. It was a good season. It was a quick season for 6 weeks. Generally, in the sport of diving, you want to have a little bit more time to prepare, but boy, these boys did a fantastic job.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for giving us your color commentating on diving. It was very enlightening to myself. We are going to throw it to a break right now. We'll be back after these messages. When we come back, we will watch the 100 butterfly right here from Warwick Valley High School. And by the way, stick around. Senior night's coming up next.
113 degrees. Would you knowingly place someone that you love in a room that's that temperature for an hour? On a 70-degree summer day, cars can reach up to 113 degrees in only an hour. When you're inside having trouble finding the celery, it can get hot quickly. On average, 38 people under the age of 15 die every year after being left in a hot car. It happens more than you'd think. These deaths are completely unnecessary and can be easily prevented. All you need to do is not leave your kid in that car. Simple as that. If you can cook an egg on the sidewalk sometimes in summer, why would you leave your child in a metal box? It makes no sense. Keep your wallet next to your kids so you don't forget them next time. You can also place your child's backseat in the middle instead of behind you. If you see someone's kid in the car, get help immediately. Please keep your kids safe. It's not worth the risk. Go to the National Safety Council's website to learn more.
Welcome back to the Anthony C. Quinn Memorial Pool for Senior Day here at Warwick Valley. So our first senior that will be honored today is Will Danaher, and we'll kick it to the PA right now. So we're having some technical difficulties with the microphone on the pool. Will Danaher is being honored by his teammates. Standing next to him is his mother. They live right here in the village, a very nice family, good swimming family. They've been loyal and supportive to the program for a long time. Will's already swam a couple events. He'll come back after this senior night celebration and swim the 100 breaststroke and anchor the meet. He's not the he's actually the anchor leg on one of the 400 free relay teams. So there's a nice send-off for Will. And now it looks like we will honor Dan Jackson, who holds 2 school records. So we're looking forward to the speech here for Dan Jackson, another senior here on the boys varsity swim and dive team. We will try to hear the PA. We'll see what happens. If we can hear the PA, we'll listen to it. Nice touch. There's a little gift package there for Dan as they send him off here on senior night.
Look around you, art is everywhere. Without kids who find a passion in art, who would make the world more colorful? Well, schools around the world are cutting their funding, leaving kids without art program options. Ninth grade students in Art and Partnership Education, which offers art education more than traditional academic studies, were one full grade level ahead of their peers who were not involved in the program. To try and help fund schools for art programs, Art in Action was formed. Make a donation to Art in Action and they will bring an entire curriculum plan, train teachers, and provide supplies to bring art back to schools. Please visit Art in Action to bring creativity back to students.
Welcome back to the Anthony C. Quinn Memorial Pool. We're here for the 100 butterfly. In lane 2, we got Vinay Kamath, and lane 3, Youssef Mustafa. And they're off.
100 butterfly, anything 100 yards or less is considered a sprint. So this is basically 4 laps butterfly, everything you got.
Everything you got, a lot of chest motion in here.
Yeah, a lot of lats, a lot of shoulders, big power kick, both legs together. You want to kind of go through the water like that butterfly kick is kind of like the old breakdance move, the worm.
The worm.
Yeah.
You got the breakdance board in the 80s, and you watch the movie Breakin', and then you practice your swim butterfly on there. That's Mustafa in lane 3.
That's right. And back in the 80s and 90s, that's how you got people on your team to do the butterfly. You said, oh, wow, at the high school dance, you were good at the worm. We're going to make you a butterfly on the Warwick swim team.
That's right. I love it. The breaking board gets people in the pool. Mustafa at the turn, trailed by Kamath.
And turns for the butterfly, 2 hands on the wall, have to touch or you get disqualified. And then you want to be quick and just a big power push right off that wall. Really get those knees bent and blast off.
Mustafa, a little sprint here towards the end. Looked like he was laboring, but then he picked it up in the last yardage there. And he'll touch down first.
That was a nice finish right there. Very nice finish. You know, put your head down and get into the wall. Especially when you're at the flags, that means you have 5 yards left and you want to give all you got. Just get right into the wall, finish strong. And
the Wildcat teammates cheer on Kamath, and that will conclude our 100 butterfly here from the Anthony C. Quinn Memorial Pool. First place with a time of 107.45, 125.05 in second. That's the results here from Warwick. Let's see what happened over at Viking country. Lane 2, Michael Kelly. Lane 3, Aiden Woods. Lane 4, Caswell Gluckstein. So how does the 100 freestyle differ from the butterfly? Obviously, it's a freestyle. It's a crawl.
It's a crawl. Generally, it's a little bit faster than the 100 fly. School record 47.32. Again, 2011, Eric Foal for the Wildcats. But the pool record, interestingly enough, Larry Virgilio from Pine Bush, he was a 4-time state champion, went to Penn State. He went 48.1 here at our pool. And remember, this pool was built in 1961 and has seen a lot of swimming. So to have a pool record at Warwick Valley is something special.
There's some corrections there. It said lane 2, Nagel. And they're off.
And again, the way you want to mentally approach the 100 freestyle is it's a 50-yard free sprint, take the flip turn, and then it's another 50-yard sprint. You basically do a 50, and then you're holding on for another 50.
And Coach, aren't most pools 50-meter pools?
Most high school pools are just like ours, 25 yards. A lot of these kids that do swim club also do what we call long course, and that's your 50-meter pool. And long course is actually a little bit slower than pools like this, which are considered short course, because you don't get those extra pushes off the wall.
That's Nagel in the lead in lane 2.
And right now, Nagel's got to be thinking it's go time. You got a lap and a half left. You got to get in and out of this wall, and then put your head down and turn those arms over.
Nagel at the turn. Lane 3 and 4 looks like they're tied for second.
And now you really want to get the legs going. You really want to start kicking, get into the wall, keep your head down. There was an extra breath at the end.
Looks like there'll be Nagel in lane 2 taking first place. Following quickly behind, lanes 3 and 4. Look like they're happy with their times. An under 60-second time for first place, 59.93. Coach, is that a good time?
Yeah, under a minute. Anything under a minute. Very, very good for Nagel there. Congratulations on breaking the minute there. 106 for both of our other guys. Very good. Let's see what they did over at BC.
Yes. So that's the result from Warwick Valley. We'll check in with Viking Land. Our next event, 500 freestyle. Now this is a very long race, Coach. Is this the marathon of the races in the pool?
Yeah, this is the marathon of high school swimming. 20 laps freestyle. This should be pretty quick, though. I would expect sub 5 minutes here out of the Warwick swimmers here. Danny Jackson being one of them. School record 4:44.11. Rob Latimer, 2-time state champion.
Wow. Jackson in 4, Abramson in lane 3, and in lane 2, Nagel. I think this graphic was up for the 100 freestyle, so we might have got some of the names wrong in the 100 freestyle. But this is the 500 freestyle.
Yeah, and the pool record for this event is 4:58, I believe. We have to check that on the record board. 2015.
So under 5 minutes is a very good time.
Under 5 minutes is as very, you're an elite high school swimmer if you're going under 5 minutes in the 500 here. And we might have 2 swimmers here going under 5.
Wow, that's impressive. Let's see what happens in this race.
Chasing pool records, you can see teammates at the other side of the pool. They're going to try to get it really amped up in here, keep these guys on pace, and try to set a school record or a pool record.
Yeah, let's see if that can happen. There's Coach Mahan in her first season, taking over for the Quinns. She seems like she has a lot of energy. I was just talking to her during the break, and she said she swam here herself. And she was telling me that the blocks, when she swam here, were on the other side of the pool.
Yeah, that's a true story. I remember when I was in 7th grade back in the early 90s, you'd actually have to dive in the low end.
Wow.
And that's 3.5 feet deep. Boy, the Department of Health really changed that up.
Well, here we go. They're on the block, and they're off.
And back in the early 90s, there was one diving board. Then the board was moved into the middle of the pool. Then we purchased and raised money for a second diving board. And now those 2 diving boards are amongst the best in the section. Very smooth, very good.
Looks like Abramson out to the lead. And let's see if the teammates can urge them on to some sub 5 minute performances here. Abramson still in the lead. Followed by lane 4.
Yeah, and it looks like Daniel Jackson is doing the butterfly stroke rather than the freestyle stroke. I've never really seen that in a 500. So we'll have to ask him after.
Maybe it's a training event for him.
Yeah, it could be. Could be a training event.
It's interesting. There we got Abramson still holding on to the lead, followed by Jackson and Nagel.
And if you notice, Abramson very smooth right now. He wants to stay on pace, kind of like running a mile. You want every lap, every 400 to be of a certain time. Same with the hundreds in the 500 freestyle. If you go 5 100s under a minute, you're gonna have a great time at 4:55 right there.
We're getting some updates on why the stroke is different. Dan Jackson lost a bet, so he has to do the 500 IM. Oh, there we go. Training, losing bets. That causes you to swim this long event here in Wildcat Country.
Wow, so if you break that down, he's going to do 125 of each stroke. That's 5 laps of each stroke.
Wow. It's a lot of work, Coach.
That's a lot of work, a lot of training, but you know what? Here in Wildcat Country, a lot of our swimmers really love the camaraderie, love the sport, and love to train.
It's good.
And that's what we're all about.
Got to be gritty, got to love to train, because when you do that, you see results usually if you stick with it.
100%. Control what you can control.
Right.
Get in the pool, get to work. And that's kind of how it is in every sport, you know?
Yeah.
You can be as good as you want to be and be willing to work. And you'll most likely yield very good results and feel proud of yourself.
Yes, you want to put in the time, get the results. Hopefully you love the sport, you love what you're doing, and the grittiness pays off in the long run.
And you're going to love the purple and gold. Look at this pool right here. There's a lot of purple and gold around. The only thing missing is Coach Sirico making a cameo right now,
Yeah.
walking in. Class of 1985.
Yeah, urging on the swimmers. I know there's a basketball game going on at the Wildcat Gymnasium, Mine Mazzetti Gymnasium, so maybe he's over there right now rooting for them.
He might be, but, you know, Coach Sirico has not missed a Warwick swim meet this year. So we'll
Look for that cameo.
the Sirico tracker is out there right now. We're going to see where is Coach Sirico. It's like Santa going around the world. You see Santa's in India, Santa's in Australia. When's he coming to Warwick? Where's Sirico right now? Is he in the big gym? Is he in the small gym? He's in the pool. Hopefully we see him soon.
But Coach, those people with the numbers there, they're the lap counters, right? They sometimes dip that in the pool.
Yeah, those numbers are
Dip
called.
them in.
Yeah, you dip them in the pool, and
Yes.
usually, your partner shakes it really faster. That means go faster.
Okay.
And actually, there some swimmers, there are signs. If you're waving it slow, that means like slow it down a little bit. You have a lot of
Pace.
time. If they're shaking it rapid fire, that means get on your horse and let's get going.
Wow. So swim communication.
And look at that pool. I mean, that's a blue pool right there.
Yeah, looks pretty clear. Looks pretty blue.
Looks
Is
clear.
it a fast pool? So there's certain pools are faster than others, correct? Like Valley Central and Washingtonville are known as fast pools in this section, correct?
This is known as a fast pool. Believe it or not. And fast pools are dictated by how low your gutters are to the water.
Coach,
So-
it's amazing. We've had the sighting.
Oh.
We'll see if the sighting reaches on camera. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing right on cue.
If you build it, he will come. We said Coach Sirico. He showed up in the booth with us right now.
Amazing.
Coach Sirico has not missed. He's undefeated, hasn't missed a swim meet yet this year.
Okay.
And there's another season left, and I got to tell you, the 72 Dolphins, they're in trouble right now. Coach Sirico
Lane 3.
going for the undefeated season.
Abramson on the turn.
On the turn, here we go.
There's Dan Jackson.
Dan Jackson battle. Oh, and there's Coach Sirico.
There he is. He made the camera,
He
Coach.
made it. He made it.
Waldo made it. Santa made it.
They're ringing the bells.
The
Coach
bells.
Sirico is walking on deck.
Bell lap. Coach on deck. It's a great senior day here at Wildcat Country.
This 500 has had it all. It's really had it all. It's you got Dan Jackson doing a 500 IM, one of the best swimmers in the history of the program. Coach Sirico making the cameo, purple and gold everywhere, and a great time in lane 3
From Jesse Abramson.
with a 5:05. That's a very solid time for the 500. Shaved and tapered. I'm sure he's definitely a sub 5-minute guy in the 500.
Yeah, it's a difficult season to shave and taper because there's no rhyme or reason. They had 5 meets in less than 2 weeks. Maybe you pre-trained before it, maybe you didn't due to the COVID circumstances. So under all these circumstances, I'm really impressed with how these swimmers are performing today.
And another interesting fact is, when we go to these championship meets, there are different types of suits that the swimmers wear to actually make you go faster. They wear different types of suits. I remember back in the Olympics when Michael Phelps broke all those records.
shark suit.
They were giving more buoyancy to the swimmer, actually holding them up that way that they could actually go faster and put less stress on the muscles here. And you see here Daniel Jackson finishing into the wall. The evolution of the bathing cap as well. Back in the day, everybody wore a plain bathing cap. Now they're almost like football helmets, your school logos on them. They're very festive.
Water's porous right up. So we have Jesse Abramson in 5:05.52. In second place, Dan Jackson, 5:50.79. And in third place will be Caden Nagel, a little over 6 minutes, 6:10.71. Those are the results here from Wildcat Country. Let's kick it over to BC and see what happened there as we await their results. Next event up here in Wildcat Country is the 200 free relay, and we have 3 relay teams here for the Warwick Valley Wildcats. Lane 2 will be Xander Trezino, Corrigan, Elijah Jean, Michael Dong. Lane 3, Armistead, Kyle Sass, Woods, and Vinay Kamath. In lane 4, Youssef Mustafa, Will Danaher, Jesse Abramson, and Daniel Jackson, right here from the Anthony C. Quinn Memorial Pool. Looks like they're getting ready. They're approaching the block for this 200 free relay.
And a lot of high school swimmers really enjoy taking part in relays. This is your chance. You get to swim 2 laps as fast as you can with a bunch of your friends and try to beat another group of your friends in another lane or another group of competitors from another school. The relays are always fun and a specialty here in Wildcat Country.
I'm sure the momentum can change a lot in the relays. In a sport that might be seen as an individual sport, this is where the team aspect probably shines the most.
Yeah, and what you have to do too is really get that timing down because you don't want a false start. Whenever the swimmer coming into the wall hits the wall, that's when you're allowed to dive in for your leg. If you're early, you get DQ'd. It's like dropping the baton.
Right.
You don't want to mess that part up.
Definitely not. So the lead legs are hitting the block. Trezino in 2, Armistead in 3, Mustafa in 4.
Sirico's got his game face on. He knows big things happen in relays.
And they're off. Coach Rico here for the 200 free relay. This must be some friendly competition. Also, you probably want to get your fastest time of the season in the last meet. If you're a senior in this, you want to go out with a very strong time as well. I don't know if they do the splits. They probably have that capability with the timing system. I don't know if the coaches do that.
Yes, everyone will definitely get a split. And as you get to the higher levels of high school swimming, your split is very important. I mean, this is a, hundredths of a second.
Right.
Are the difference between winning a state championship or a section championship and coming in second.
Looked like lane 4 touched off first. That was Mustafa to Danaher. It looks like the strong relay, Mustafa, Danaher, Abramson, Jackson. That's probably your A relay in lane 4.
And one part of swimming that's really, people don't really pay such close attention to is called circle swimming. You want to make sure you're staying right on that line at the bottom of the pool. You don't want to go down on one side of the line and then come back on the other. That actually wastes seconds.
Abramson in the lead on the turn, followed by Woods and Elijah Jean being in lane 2. Here comes Abramson, and guess who's going to anchor this relay? You know who.
He's back, fresh off the 500 IM.
He's feeling very fresh. Here comes
DJ Daniel Johnson.
Here comes Dan Jackson,
Here we
anchor
go.
leg, 200 free relay. Let's see what he's got left.
Bang.
The turn.
They lost him. See, that's a great pull out there. It's a great glide and then breakout. The camera actually lost him because he was underwater for that long.
It's amazing. It's like Superman.
It's like Aquaman.
Aquaman. He's
right?
in the water. Yes. So here we go. Battle for second place between
Oh, look at this. Friendly competition.
Kameth
Look at this.
and Michael Dong.
Bringing out the best in each other. Let's go.
We got Dong, Kameth. Very close. Looks like Michael Dong's relay in lane 2 will take second, and Vinay Kameth in lane 3 will take third. So that was a pretty exciting 200 free relay for second and third place here in the Quinn Memorial Pool. First place, lane 4, 138.98. Second place, lane 2, 154.76. Lane 3 and third, 155.68. That's here in Wildcat country. We have to await the results from Valley Central High School. Our next race is the 100 backstroke. Aiden Corrigan in lane 2. Lane 3, Michael Kelly. Lane 4, Logan Armstead.
So we're down to our final 3 events right here. You
Yes.
got the back, you got the breast, and the 400 free relay.
Yeah, I like when competitions end with relays. They do the same thing in track. There's your graphic with who's in the lanes. Corrigan 2, Kelly in 3, Armstead in 4. Right here from the Anthony C. Quinn Memorial Pool. They're going to do a little dip to get them wet so they can feel the water, correct? They probably haven't swam in a while, these guys?
Yeah, that's really a personal preference. Some swimmers like to splash themselves before they jump in the water. I never really got that because it's really like the same thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever whatever you need to do to get yourself psyched up.
Yeah, sure.
Timers, clear your watches.
100 backstroke, 100 breaststroke. Some swimmers specialize in just certain strokes. You get guys who are just backstrokers or just breaststrokers, and they really take to the craft of that certain stroke, kind of like being a hurdle or being a long jumper specifically.
Love the track analogies, Coach. You know my specialty. So this stroke looks pretty difficult to me. Okay. So at the turn, we got lane 3, Kelly.
So I'll tell you, Coach, there's a couple of different things you need to know about the backstroke. There are 2 sets of flags in the pool, if you've noticed.
Yes.
They're both 5 yards in from the end of the pool. So what a backstroker will do is once they see the flags, they count their strokes. 1, 2, 3, flip on their stomach, do the flip turn, and then break out towards the other side of the pool. That's so they don't smash their heads into the wall. That's never good.
Kelly in 3, Corrigan in 4 in second place. Trailing them is Logan Armstead.
And right now, Kelly's doing a great job staying in the middle of the lane while he's swimming this. He's not circle swimming. That's making him very efficient as he powers through with his backstroke.
Stroke efficiency is very important in these races. You don't want to be wasting energy, especially if you're going to come back and do a relay at the end.
Absolutely. I would have taken one more stroke there at the wall, but a great job by Kelly.
Michael Kelly will touch the wall first. Looks like followed by Armistead, and then I think Corrigan is still in 2, finishing. So we got the first place time 110.82, 121.17, and then 135.10 will be third place. I'm sorry, 135.10 was second place. Now we're just waiting for lane 4. And lane 4, Armistead, will finish in 147.27. So here you have it here from Wildcat Country. We'll await the results from Viking Land, Valley Central High School. And then we will turn to the 100 breaststroke. Breaststroke for Warwick, Ben Pittiger in lane 2, Xander Trezino lane 3, Will Danaher, the senior, in lane 4. Will Danaher's got 2 more races. He's going to do back-to-back races here. He's going to be in this race and in the 400 free relay. I'm sure if you're a senior, you probably want to swim in the last event of the night on senior night.
I'd have to agree with that, and you know, this is where the conditioning comes in. You put all those yards in during the year. You wait for a moment like this. Senior year, senior meet, last meet at home, COVID. You want to make it count.
Sure. You want to remember it forever.
And you can see the hand sanitizer straight ahead.
Yes, you
and,
can.
And I will tell you, the hand sanitizers in Warwick are amazing. I mean, my hands are smelling fresh for like 3 days. I still smell it.
Smelling fresh, keeping safe, and we are off in the 100 breaststroke. This looks like a tough stroke as well, Coach.
Yeah, you know, it really is, because there's a lot to this stroke that's going on underwater. As you pull back towards your chest, you want to then turn your hands and try to flush the water back under your chin to create a wake that your body's kind of gliding in.
And look at that push off.
Yeah.
Into the turn, it was Danaher, Trezino, Pittiger.
You also want to be very patient. It's a glide stroke. It's power and glide, and timing that glide is very important. Again, the turn,
Power
2
and
hands
finesse.
on the wall.
Oh, man, look at that. 4 and 3, Danaher, Trezino, right on each other, neck and neck.
Trezino trying to disrupt senior night right here, putting on a great performance.
Oh, boy, yeah, that's a tough call there.
He's
got to
not-
make the seniors work a little bit. You got to make them work.
He's not giving in. He's staying in the middle of that lane right now.
Got Danaher in 4, Trezino still challenging him in 3, Pittiger trailing behind in lane 2.
Danaher, though, with a very nice turn, opened it up a little bit there, but Trezino not going anywhere.
No. This looks like this is where the endurance kicks in, the training, the payoff, because this looks like a tough race to me right now.
And I'll tell you what, this is where it's great to train with the upperclassmen. You know?
Danaher, Trezino, Pittiger. I'm sure Trezino, as he improves throughout the years, will remember racing Will on senior night. They high-fived there in celebration, and there's Ben Pittiger in the other lane looking at their times up on the board. First place, 111.60. Will Danaher. Second place was Trezino, 112.99, and Pittiger in third at 116.
For Trezino, that's about a 6-second PR from last meet right there, so he did a great job.
It's a great way to end the season. Here you have it, 100 breaststroke from Wildcat Country. We'll just wait on the results from Valley Central before we get on to the 400 free relay.
These guys look ready to go right now. This is the last relay of the year. This is it. It all comes down to this.
COVID season.
COVID season's over. Season to remember. We'll always look back on the COVID season. We'll always remember the 400 free relay versus Valley Central at Anthony C. Memorial.
And Coach, we're making some more history here. I think this is the first ever broadcast of a swim meet, at least in the Chicone age of WVTV. I think even in the dual age. I don't know if they had this technology for the days of Betty Hurd and your work with Warwick Valley Communications in the 90s.
I'll tell you what, back when I was a communication student here, we specialized more like in highlight reels
Yes.
and funny dance videos in the hallways of Warwick High School.
Nice.
I'm glad that we've progressed and evolved into broadcasting swimming and
Yes.
sporting events.
So here we go. Lane 3 is Jackson, Gluckstein, Kelly, and Mustafa. I'm not really sure what lane 4 is. I think they cut one of the relays. They had 3 originally scheduled, but we'll just look and see here. Hopefully this senior relay, well, actually there's seniors pitted against each other because Will Danaher is anchoring one relay and Dan Jackson's leading off another, unless they switch the order. I'm trying to look in the pool to be sure exactly who's in there.
Here we go. These guys are out very, very quickly in this 50. We'll see if they can hold on the second 50. First
Oh,
leg.
great turn out of lane 3.
Wow.
4, excuse me, out of lane 4.
Look at that. They're at 25 point. You bring it back in at 25, you're at 50. An elite time in the 100 freestyles under 50 seconds.
Wow, another good turn. Looks like lane 3 gained some momentum there, overtook the lead.
Here we go. These two guys on the same relay would be devastating.
Oh boy, yeah, they probably tried to balance it out a little bit. I couldn't even see lane 4 because they really glided out of that exchange. Flip turn lane 3. I think that's Gluckstein. That's who it says on my roster.
Yeah, and Coach, this is going to be interesting because we get right into the girls' season starting on March 1st for another shortened season. But it's really amazing, and a lot of credit goes out to the athletic directors and the league and the coaches for really giving the athletes and the student athletes 3 full seasons, all in the spring more or less.
I think at this point of this pandemic, all you want is a chance to participate in sports on any level, whether it be varsity, JV, youth sports, and we're seeing the turnaround as these guys do their turn in this race, and it's just that's all you want to see out there: participation, getting back to a sense of old normal. And for me, just even announcing this meet today, watching these kids, watching you 2 seniors enjoy senior day, senior night, whatever you want to call it, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. We're back to old normal a little bit.
It
feels
really
good.
is. It's it's part of the high school experience is having your friends, following your passion in a sport, working with a coach and your teammates, having those experiences. So it is a pleasure to see all these students out there.
On the turn, it looks like lane 3.
What was really interesting, when they opened the pool back up after it being closed for so long, it was almost like going into a summer home that's been shut down.
Haven't seen it in a while.
Haven't seen it in a while. You're looking, you're saying, where are the old mats? Where's all the starting blocks? Where all the wires?
Dust things off,
Gotta
maybe
dust things
clean
off.
things. Where's this stuff? Where do we pack this stuff away? This summer rental that we go to.
That's right. You find
once
the
a year?
whistle. You look. You use the whistle. Does the whistle still work? It's but it's great. And then you hit the switch and everything works like a charm.
And you go back and it's like riding a bike, and you just remember how to swim. You remember how to coach. You remember how to run in an athletic natatorium. This great pool we have here in Warwick Valley. It's seen a lot of evolution throughout the years.
You know what's amazing about this pool, built in 1961? This pool is actually at the center of Warwick Valley High School, and there have been numerous extensions put on this building. But there's no other high school in all of Orange County where there's a pool smack in the middle of the high school. You can walk to your gym. There's actually 2 gyms. You can walk to the cafeteria, and the pool is in the middle of the school. It's a treasure.
It's pretty unique, and that's some very interesting interscholastic athletic facility knowledge that you just brought to us there, Coach. I like it.
Yeah, it's this right here. This pool was actually donated, believe it or not. Back in 1961, a wealthy Warwick resident felt that swimming should be part of the physical education of Warwick Valley students and donated the pool. There's a plaque on the other side of the pool. I forget the name off the top of my head, but it was a donation, and we're still using that pool to this day.
It's amazing. Philanthropy, charity, and the anchor leg touches. That would be lane 4. I think they said the time was, there are the times right there.
Wow, and that wraps up another season of Warwick boys swimming.
Lane 3, 356.98. Lane 4, 403.68. That wraps up the season swim and dive team. Coaches, we got to get the results of Valley Central for this relay. We have to tally up the scores. Rather just walked across.
Yeah, all these guys did a great job this year. They really worked hard.
Will's still hanging out in the pool thinking, wow, this is the last meet I'll ever swim as a Warwick Valley Wildcat.
It's like Drew Brees leaving the Superdome, you know?
Yeah. The only difference is his best friend's not playing catch with his son. But that's okay. Yeah, I thought you might laugh at that. Yeah. So, but yeah. What about the Super Bowl host? So I guess that's it here from Wildcat Country. It's been a very shortened season here during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thanks for joining us. I want to thank my cohort in crime here, Coach Voloshin, for giving his knowledge and his color commentary to this meet. It was very enjoyable. We'll love to have you again if we do this during the girls' season or next year.
Absolutely. Great job to everybody, all the camera, the crew. You guys did a fantastic job, and Coach Candy here. Coach Talk, I'm a big fan. Keep it going.
Yeah, Coach Talk, that's involved. Yes. Well, that's it here from the Warwick Valley Anthony C. Quinn Memorial Pool. Thanks for joining us on this broadcast of WVTV Swimming and Diving. I'm Ryan Candy. We hope